there is a thief living in your head. That's right. There is a thief living in your head that right now is stealing right out from under your nose much of your productivity, your enthusiasm, your happiness, and your joy in almost every area of your life. And that thief resides in your head, and you don't even know it. My name is Brian McIntosh. This is the Daily Dose. Would you like me to tell you who this thief is? Would you like me to help you identify this cat burglar of your effectiveness? This pilferer of your potential? The culprit that I speak of is worry. Worry is a habit. It's a habit that you get into just like chewing gum or exercising or biting your nails or finishing other people's sentences or drumming your fingers on a table or whatever else that we find ourselves doing as a matter of habit. Worry is a learned behavior that becomes habit through continued engagement. The challenge with worry is that as we grow older, it becomes more severe. We do it more often, and we do it more compulsively, and we do it, frankly, more obsessively as well, because as we become older, we become more risk averse. So what's the big deal about worry, though, Brian? Like, big deal, so we worry. Doesn't everybody worry? Yes, everyone worries, but I'll tell you something. Worry is born from fear. Because think about it, if you're not afraid of something, you don't worry about it. If it wouldn't be anything but great news, you don't worry about it. Isn't that true? So we only worry about the things we fear. We only worry about the things we feel can hurt us. We only worry about the things that we feel are going to be bad for us in some way, shape, or form. Those are the things we worry about. So what worry is bred from is from fear. And that fear is bred from a projection into the future of something you think may happen that's bad. You with me? Excitement or anticipation is the exact opposite of worry. Excitement or anticipation is born from a projection of the future that's good and exciting and going to be positive for you or something good or beneficial for you. So worry now is you telling yourself a story about what's going to happen in the future, and that story is not good, and that's why you're worried. But here's what you need to know. 95% of the stuff you worry about never comes to pass anyway. Isn't that true? And here's what worry does. When you're worried, and worry is your mind being focused on this thing, going over it over and over again, telling you the story over and over again, reenacting what might happen in 100 different ways over and over again, and how you might react and respond and what you might say and all the consequences. And so that's what worry is. It's your brain on overdrive in afterburner, laying out and playing out scenarios over and over and over and over and over again surrounding this one thing. This one possible outcome or this one consequence of something. And so when your brain is so busy doing all these things, guess what it's not busy doing? It's not busy moving you towards your goals. Your conscious mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So when you're worried, it tends to drag your attention away from anything and everything else. Have you noticed that when you're sincerely worried about something, it's very difficult to concentrate? It's hard to carry on a conversation. It's hard to be enthusiastic about anything. It's hard to go to the gym and work out. Hell, it's hard to drive the car home because your brain is so occupied with swarming around this idea. So worry robs you of your effectiveness. And think about on the surface how absolutely kind of ridiculous this is. We will use up 95% of our CPU power creating stories in our head about something that has a 95% chance of never happening. Think about that. Does it sound ridiculous? It should, and it probably does, but then it also sounds like normal human behavior, and we're kind of getting used to the ridiculous, aren't we? Once we begin to understand our human brains and how they work, we begin to realize we do a lot of things that are kind of silly. And this is one of them. So worry robs you of your ability to apply that brain power and that attention to the things that are going to get you what you want in your life. And if worry is nothing more than the future projection of something that you feel may happen that's bad for you, you can replace that with a future projection of something that you think is good for you or is going to be a good circumstance for you. You see, you've heard people say that you very seldom get what you deserve, but you almost always get what you expect. That's an old cliche. We've all heard that. And you've heard time and time and time again personal development speakers and coaches tell you that what you focus on comes to fruition in your life. Worry is the focus on the things you don't want. And the more you worry about the things you don't want, the more likely they are to come true in your life, because you've got no brain power left to focus on the things you do want. And if you're not putting any brain power into focusing on the things you do want, then you're not coming up with ideas and solutions and pathways and activities to engage in that are going to bring you those things that you want. You see, this is not magic and it's not voodoo. It actually makes perfect sense when you unpack it and you understand it. When you worry, you're pouring all of your attention into things that probably won't happen anyway and aren't going to be as bad as you think they'll be if they do come to pass. But what you're also doing when you worry is you're putting zero energy or thought into how to create in your life the magnificence that you want. So what can you do? If this is a habit and we've gotten ourselves into it, how do we get ourselves out of it? And the answer is, it's hard. And it's going to be the same way that you've broken every other bad habit that you've ever broken in your life. You have to replace it. Every time you find yourself dwelling on a negative story, every time you find yourself dwelling on a negative consequence, every time you find yourself worrying about something that may happen in the future, you need to consciously replace that thought with something that you're excited about. Think about what it's going to be like when you fulfill that goal. Think about what your body's going to look like when you get that health and wellness goal met. Think about what your bank account's going to look like when you get that financial goal met this year. Think about the things that you need to engage in to reach your goals and your dreams and your ambitions. Focus your mind on the positive things that you want to see manifest in your life. And what will happen is that subconscious mind will start to drag those ideas out of you, and will begin to present you with new opportunities and pathways and doorways. And then guess what? If every once in a while the things that you would normally spend so much time worrying about actually do come to pass in your life, you'll figure out how to handle them just like you have everything else in your life, and then you will go right back to focusing on the things that you want. The primary difference between people that are huge achievers and people that are not is people who are huge achievers have a way, they have a habit, just like you and I have a worry habit perhaps. They have a habit of focusing on the things that they want and letting their mind go to work on how to get them. So guys, eliminate the thief in your mind. Identify them and kill them. Get them out of your head. And that's the dose. Well, make it a great day.